Hunter x Hunter is filled with brilliant characters. From the calm and calculating Kurapika to the deadly yet charming Hisoka, and of course Killua, who has one of the best character arcs in shonen history. But at the center of it all stands Gon Freecss. At first glance, Gon might look like your typical shonen protagonist, cheerful, reckless, energetic, and full of optimism. But as the story unfolds, we see that Gon is far more than a cookie-cutter hero. He is kind, but also selfish. He is inspiring, but also terrifying. He is a boy who represents both the innocence of childhood and the destructive obsession of human nature. And this is exactly why Yoshihiro Togashi made him the heart of Hunter x Hunter. Today, we're going to dive deep into Gon Freecss, his early life, his motivations, his abilities, his relationships, and his darkest moments. We'll break down his psychological complexity, how he evolves through the major arcs of Hunter x Hunter, and why his story continues to stand apart from almost every other protagonist in anime. This isn't just a surface-level character profile. This is a full exploration, a complete Gon Freecss analysis. So sit back, get comfortable, and let's journey together into the life of the boy who wanted to find his father. Before Gon ever became a hunter, before he met Killua or faced Hisoka, he was just a boy on Whale Island. Raised by his aunt Mito, Gon grew up surrounded by nature. He spent his days fishing, exploring the forests, and connecting with animals in ways that most people couldn't. From the very start, Gon is portrayed as someone deeply in tune with the natural world. He's fearless when it comes to animals, whether it's chasing after giant fish or befriending dangerous creatures. But Gon's story begins with an absence, the absence of his father, Ging Freecss. Ging left Gon behind when he was just a baby to pursue his dream of becoming a hunter. Normally, this kind of abandonment would leave a child feeling angry, bitter, or resentful. But Gon doesn't see it that way. Instead, he looks at his father's decision as proof that being a hunter must be something truly extraordinary. In his words, "If my father chose to leave me for his dream, then I want to understand what made it worth it." This is Gon's central motivation. Unlike other shonen protagonists who want fame, wealth, or to be the best at something, Gon's goal is far more personal. He doesn't want to become the strongest fighter in the world. He doesn't care about riches or glory. His goal is to find his father, and more importantly, to understand him. This is what separates Gon from characters like Naruto, Luffy, or Goku. His journey is deeply emotional. It's about family, abandonment, and the search for meaning. And it's this drive that pushes Gon to take the Hunter exam, the same exam his father once took. Gon is only 12 years old when he sets out, full of optimism and courage. But while his reasons for becoming a hunter seem simple, the path ahead of him will challenge not only his body, but also his mind and soul. The Hunter exam is where Gon's journey truly begins, and it immediately shows us the type of person he is. On the way to the exam, Gon meets Kurapika and Leorio, two characters who, on the surface, couldn't be more different. Kurapika is calm and collected, while Leorio is loud and brash. Yet Gon is able to connect with both of them almost instantly. This shows his natural charisma. Gon has a way of making people trust him without even trying. When the exam starts, Gon is tested alongside hundreds of other applicants. Many are older, more experienced, and far more ruthless than he is. But Gon's strengths quickly become clear. He's brave, intuitive, and resourceful. In the first phase of the exam, where participants have to keep up with an endless run, Gon's determination allows him to endure. He doesn't give up, no matter how long or painful the test becomes. One of Gon's most defining qualities appears here, his instinct. He relies less on logic or strategy, and more on gut feelings. For example, when navigating through the deadly swamp, Gon is able to sense which paths are safe just by trusting his intuition. This ability to feel the right answer without overthinking becomes one of his trademarks throughout the series. But the Hunter exam isn't just about passing tests, it's about survival, and it's where Gon encounters Hisoka for the first time. This moment is crucial for Gon's development. Hisoka is one of the most dangerous and unpredictable characters in the series, someone who lives for the thrill of fighting strong opponents. For Gon, facing Hisoka is like standing in front of a predator, but instead of freezing, Gon steps up. He risks everything to steal Hisoka's badge, even though he knows he could die in the process. When Gon succeeds, Hisoka doesn't punish him. Instead, he gives the badge back, essentially saying, "You're not ready yet, but one day you will be worth fighting." This scene foreshadows their long and complicated dynamic. Hisoka sees Gon not as prey to be destroyed immediately, but as a flower waiting to bloom. It's both terrifying and flattering. Gon is recognized by one of the strongest fighters alive. By the end of the Hunter exam, Gon passes not because he's the strongest, but because of his unshakable determination and moral compass. He doesn't compromise his values, he doesn't take shortcuts, and he doesn't give up. For Gon, the exam isn't about proving himself to others. It's about taking the first step toward understanding his father's world. The Hunter exam establishes Gon's role in the story. He is not defined by power, but by willpower. His real strength lies in his ability to inspire others, to stand firm when the odds are stacked against him, and to face danger with a smile. But as we'll see later, those same qualities will eventually lead him down a much darker path. After surviving the brutal Hunter exam, Gon's next major challenge takes him to the towering battleground known as Heaven's Arena. This arc is deceptively simple. It's basically a tournament, but it serves an important role in Gon's development. It's here that he learns about Nen, the life energy system that defines combat in Hunter x Hunter. Gon and Killua enter Heaven's Arena, both to make money and to get stronger. And right away, we see a fascinating contrast between them. Killua, who was raised as an assassin, already has incredible technique, precision, and killing instinct. Gon, on the other hand, fights with raw courage and creativity, relying on his instincts more than any formal style. Under the guidance of Wing, their mentor, Gon learns the foundations of Nen: Ten, Zetsu, Ren, and Hatsu. What stands out here is how naturally Gon adapts to this power. It's almost as if Nen was made for him. His aura is strong, his energy flows easily, and his fighting spirit is unshakable. Compared to other students who struggle with the basics, Gon grasps the concepts almost immediately. But Gon isn't just learning Nen for fun. He has one specific goal in mind: to face Hisoka once again. During the Hunter exam, Gon promised himself that he wouldn't truly feel satisfied until he could land a punch on Hisoka in a fair fight. This becomes his driving motivation throughout Heaven's Arena. When the two finally meet in battle, the fight is electric. Hisoka is leagues above Gon in both experience and ability. But Gon doesn't care. He's not fighting to win, he's fighting to prove himself. And when he finally lands that punch, returning the badge that Hisoka gave him back during the exam, it's one of the most satisfying moments in the series. This fight illustrates something essential about Gon. He doesn't measure his success by victory or defeat. He measures it by whether he lived up to his own standards of fairness and effort. Even if he loses, as long as he fought honestly and gave everything he had, he's satisfied. This philosophy is what makes Gon so compelling as a protagonist. He plays by his own rules, not by the world's. After Heaven's Arena, Gon and Killua's adventures eventually lead them into the mysterious world of Greed Island, a game created by none other than Gon's father, Ging. This arc is often seen as lighter compared to the intensity of what comes before and after it. But it's critical for Gon's growth both as a fighter and as a character. For one, Greed Island pushes Gon to refine his nen in a way that matches his personality. Under the training of Bisky, Gon develops his signature ability, Jajanken. Now at first, Jajanken might look silly. It's literally based on rock, paper, scissors. But that's exactly what makes it so genius. The ability is simple, direct, and playful, perfectly reflecting Gon's childlike nature. Yet in combat, it's devastatingly effective. His rock delivers explosive power as an enhancer, while scissors and paper allow him to add variety with transmutation and emission. Another key element of Greed Island is Gon and Killua's partnership. Training side by side, we see just how much they balance each other out. Gon's straightforward optimism motivates Killua, while Killua's cautious, strategic mindset grounds Gon. Their friendship deepens into something truly unshakable. And let's not forget, Greed Island also gives Gon a clue about his father. Ging's fingerprints are everywhere in the design of the game. For Gon, just being in this world is like stepping into his father's mind. Every challenge, every clue, every mechanic feels like Ging is speaking directly to him, testing him and preparing him. By the end of Greed Island, Gon emerges stronger, sharper, and more focused. But more importantly, his bond with Killua is solidified as the emotional backbone of the story. Together, they've grown in ways they never could have alone. And soon, that bond will be tested like never before. Up until this point, Gon's journey has been about adventure, growth, and friendship. He faces danger, sure, but it's always been within the bounds of a typical shonen story. That all changes with the Chimera Ant arc. This is where Hunter x Hunter takes a sharp turn into darker, more mature territory. The tone shifts, the stakes rise, and the themes become heavier. And for Gon, this arc doesn't just test his strength, it tests the very core of who he is as a person. The cheerful boy we met at the start of the series is about to be pushed to his absolute breaking point. The Chimera Ant arc is often considered one of the greatest storylines in anime history, and for Gon, it's the arc that completely transforms him. At the beginning, Gon and Killua meet Kite, a seasoned hunter who also happens to be one of Ging's apprentices. For Gon, Kite is more than just another adult. He's a connection to his father, a mentor figure, and someone he quickly comes to admire. Kite embodies the kind of hunter Gon wants to become: capable, fearless, and deeply connected to Ging's world. But when Kite is brutally killed and turned into a puppet by Neferpitou, Gon's world shatters. For the first time, Gon's optimism isn't enough to carry him through. His childlike faith in the world is destroyed in an instant. And instead of processing this pain in a healthy way, Gon turns all of his grief into rage. This is where we see a terrifying side of Gon emerge. He becomes single-minded in his obsession with avenging Kite. Normally, Gon is cheerful, kind, and empathetic. But during this arc, he shuts all of that off. He doesn't care about consequences, he doesn't care about himself, and he doesn't even care about Killua's worries. All he wants is Pitou's death. One of the most chilling moments in the entire series comes during Gon's confrontation with Pitou. Knowing he can't possibly win in his current state, Gon makes a horrifying choice. He sacrifices his own future, burning away all of his potential in exchange for power in the present. In an instant, his body transforms into its adult form, a version of himself that could have existed years in the future. The battle that follows is brutal. Gon absolutely destroys Pitou, leaving nothing behind. But the victory feels hollow, even horrifying. Instead of triumph, there's only emptiness. Gon's obsession cost him everything: his strength, his future as a hunter, and even his own health, leaving him at death's door. This moment cements Gon as one of the most unique protagonists in anime. Most shonen heroes grow through positivity, friendship, and determination. Gon grows through trauma, self-destruction, and obsession. His adult form isn't a power-up to celebrate. It's a visual metaphor for the death of his innocence. In the Chimera Ant arc, Gon is no longer just a hopeful boy chasing after his father. He's a broken child consumed by grief, willing to destroy himself to satisfy his rage. And that's what makes this arc so powerful. It takes the bright, cheerful image of Gon and flips it on its head, showing us just how dangerous and destructive that same determination can become. No character exists in isolation, and Gon Freecss is defined not only by his choices, but also by the people around him. His relationships are what give his story so much emotional depth, and sometimes they are what drive him to his darkest places. The most important of these is, of course, his bond with Killua Zoldyck. From the moment they meet during the Hunter exam, their friendship feels natural and unshakable. Gon represents light, freedom, and innocence, while Killua, raised in the shadows of the Zoldyck family, represents darkness, trauma, and doubt. Together, they balance each other perfectly. Killua finds in Gon something he never thought possible, a true friend who sees him for who he is, not just an assassin or a weapon. Gon's unwavering trust and acceptance slowly heal Killua's fractured heart. On the flip side, Killua grounds Gon. He pulls him back from reckless decisions, provides strategy where Gon provides instinct, and constantly looks out for him. In many ways, Gon and Killua save each other. Their friendship is one of the strongest in anime because it feels so genuine, built not on obligation, but on pure loyalty and trust. But Gon's relationships aren't always so positive. His connection with Kite shows us how fragile his heart really is. Kite was Gon's mentor, a link to his father, and someone he admired deeply. When Kite dies, Gon loses not just a friend, but also a piece of himself. His obsession with revenge is less about justice and more about his refusal to accept the loss of someone he saw as irreplaceable. Then, of course, there's Ging Freecss, Gon's father, and the reason his journey even begins. Ging is a controversial figure. To many, he seems selfish, irresponsible, and even cruel. He abandoned his son to chase his own dreams. But for Gon, Ging isn't someone to resent. He's someone to understand. When Gon and Ging finally meet at the end of the story, the moment is surprisingly anticlimactic. There's no tearful reunion, no big emotional payoff. Instead, it's just a quiet conversation on top of the world tree. Ging isn't there to be the father Gon always wanted. He's there as the man Gon always wanted to meet. And for Gon, that's enough. This ending reinforces the idea that Gon's journey was never about being validated by Ging. It was about becoming strong enough to stand beside him as an equal. In all of these relationships, we see different sides of Gon: the loyal friend, the grieving disciple, the curious son. And together, they reveal the complexity of who Gon really is. On the surface, Gon seems like a classic good kid. He's cheerful, empathetic, and kind to his friends. But when you look closer, you start to see that Gon's morality is not as straightforward as it seems. For example, Gon is incredibly kind to people and animals who earn his respect. He'll risk his life for Killua, protect strangers if he feels it's right, and treat even dangerous beasts with care. But that kindness is not universal. Gon doesn't extend it to everyone. He doesn't fight for justice or fairness in the world. He fights for what he personally values. Because when his personal values are violated, his response is absolute. There's no middle ground. We see this in the way he deals with Pitou. Gon doesn't just want revenge. He's willing to throw away everything, even his own future, to achieve it. Of course, we can't talk about Gon without looking at his actual abilities. As a Nen user, Gon is classified as an enhancer, a category known for straightforward, raw power. Enhancers don't rely on tricks or illusions. They rely on overwhelming strength, durability, and determination. And that is the complete story and analysis of Gon Freecss. From a boy chasing after the shadow of his father, to a young man who nearly destroyed himself in the name of revenge, Gon is one of the most complex and fascinating protagonists in anime. His journey isn't about saving the world. It isn't about glory. It's about growth, loss, and the raw human emotions that define us all. So now I want to hear from you. Do you see Gon as one of the greatest shonen protagonists of all time? Or do you see him as something entirely different, a symbol of what happens when innocence collides with obsession? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into Hunter x Hunter, don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more anime analysis, and share this with a fellow fan. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep exploring the world of Hunter x Hunter.